everyone. Welcome to Dada Next Door. This is a podcast where we highlight the achievements, challenges, and contributions made by phenomenal women in the field of art and activism, or as we like to call it, artivism. Today we have a phenomenal guest, as always, and her name is Risa Okech. She has joined us to let us know what she's doing in the grand scheme of creating social change. So, Risa, hi, how are you?
Hey, I'm good, thank you. Thank you so much for that amazing introduction.
Fantastic. It's good to have you here.
Good to have you too.
So, I would like you to tell us about yourself, but with a twist.
All right.
So, maybe introduce yourself by telling us about a work of art or music or something that inspired you to become the creative entrepreneur that you are.
Okay, so what inspired me to be the creative entrepreneur that I am is Beethoven.
Ooh, starting strong.
So I grew up as a classically trained pianist. I've been trained. I've done ABRSM exams for piano and music theory, and specifically why I enjoyed why Beethoven is my inspiration is because when he was young, his father was abusive. And he was told that he doesn't have talent. Like his music teachers told him that he doesn't have talent and he would never succeed as a musician. And he had so much to live up to because his father was a musician himself and a music teacher. So he felt like he had such huge shoes to fill.
Yeah.
So that to him was like, it's something that could have deterred him, but it didn't. And because his father was physically abusive, he ended up losing his earring. So the very last symphonies that he wrote, that we know of, all this, like, Symphony Number 5, all those, like, he wrote when he was completely deaf.
Wow.
Yes.
I'm sure right now if he could, he would have said, mwalimu wa music, hapa ni wapi?
See me now.
See me now. Oh, okay. That's a fantastic way to draw inspiration. What is the work that you do that was inspired by this, fueled by this source,
All right. So, okay, now when I got into the music industry, I got into it as a bassist, which was by accident because I knew I was going to be a classical pianist touring Europe. But here we are. I have African parents, so I had to go and do, formal stuff.
Yes. Actually study with the school fees.
Do maths, do science, and all that. So while I was browsing the internet one day, I've also always been drawn to the bass guitar for some reason. So like when I was looking through the internet, I looked for people to practice with, and then I saw an ad. And then I thought this was just like a bunch of people chilling like in a garage and it was going to be something casual. So I was like, oh, bet. So I went and then I auditioned. They liked me and then they were like, oh, gig is next week.
Nice.
And that's how I got into the industry.
Okay.
Yeah. So as a guitarist, I'm self-taught. So I had to learn everything. Like I've never had like formal instruction.
Oh.
Yes. Then on top of it, I'm coming from classical music, which is like everything is so structured, So like you read music, you do everything by the book, like everything is structured. So coming into the industry, and this was here in Kenya, coming into the industry, like people improvise, people jam, people, are just free, which is an amazing thing. But me, I've been used to that structure. So when I came in, I was, so to speak, an underdog. And I did not have like really nice experiences, especially like when I used to play in church. So I used to have to play with musicians who are also like in the industry. And they didn't understand my thought process coming from that perspective. Like, yes, I could play music, but I needed to have structure and to read.
Yeah.
So I struggled a little bit with improvisation. And that was something that like being an underdog kind of made me feel like, oh my goodness, I would never make it. And then I got bullying. Then also being an instrumentalist, like there are few instrumentalists who are female, so I didn't quite meet a lot of them back then.
I actually didn't know the instrumentalist field is male dominated.
It literally is.
Really?
Although nowadays, like we meet a lot of female, like the keyboard and even guitarists.
Yeah.
A lot of them are coming up.
We love to see it.
Yeah, it's true. So now that at some point I wanted to quit. Mind you, like I've been doing music since I was 4. It's something that's been a passion for me. But this experience made me want to completely quit and give up on my dreams. Then I remembered Beethoven. He was told how he sucks. And, he still went on to become the greatest composer in history. So, yeah, that's what fueled me.
Oh, full circle.
Yes.
I love it. Okay, so at what point did you decide, okay, this is my music, this is my talent, but now I want to do more with it, I want to, the sense that I want to use my knowledge and the experience that you've talked about. This is what you went through in the field. I want to use that to empower others. Yes. At what point did it click that, this is what I'm going to do with the rest of my life?
All right. So I'm coming from a very academic family and also strong women. So like doing a master's was natural, like for me. So like when I was looking for things to do in the within the music industry, initially like I'd wanted to continue pursuing piano, but then they needed you to have an undergrad. Most of the programs, and that I didn't. My undergrad is in psychology.
They needed you to have an undergrad in what?
In music. Yeah, in the instrument that you're majoring in.
Oh, you can actually have a specific undergrad in piano.
Yes.
You major in piano.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So for me, I majored in psychology, so I didn't qualify to continue in masters that way. Then my next thing was, because I'd already started business, I used to buy secondhand instruments, guitars, and then paint them and refurbish them and resell them.
I love it. It's already hitting environmental tags. Okay, go on.
So I was like, I would still like to continue business. And like also I didn't want to put all my eggs into just performing, because how I ended up starting the business was because I injured my arm. And at the time, that was my only source of income, was playing bass. Yeah, so I was like, I need another way to make money, but still in it. That's how the business started.
Yeah.
So eventually, I Googled like whether there's anything I can do in relation to business and, and music. Yeah, so I only found 3 universities. 2 of them based in the US and 1 in Australia that were offering music business. So I went with the US one. Yeah.
Okay. You really do have an impressive resume, by the way.
Thank
your accolades, your educational background.
Thank you.
It's way up there. And to hear you say that you actually made something out of a broken arm, a woman can actually make something out of very little. Yeah. So it's lovely to hear you say that.
Thank you.
So, some of the other honors and awards and, generally stuff that we've seen that you've been participating. You played with Oliver Mtukuzi's son?
Yes, I did.
Wow, in what situation?
So I grew up in Zimbabwe, and there in Southern Africa, the main instruments are marimba. Yeah, it's pretty big over there. So I used to play in the marimba band in school, and we used to do like our band, if I do say so myself, was pretty amazing.
Say, sis, say.
So I used to play in the marimba band, and we used to tour all over the country.
Yeah.
And of course, Oliver Mtukuzi's son was also a musician naturally.
Yeah.
Yeah. So one time in one of the competitions, we played together on the same stage. It was an impromptu, but it was a really nice opportunity.
Worked?
Yes.
Okay, I love it. And some of the awards that you've received as well.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? We'll get to that because you have so much just lined up for you. But the most recent one that we've seen was that you've just landed a new position.
Yes. But it's not a music position though.
No,
But
no,
I
no.
want to use my influence in the music industry for that.
Yes, that is actually, you're using the platform that you have to advocate for something. That
Yes.
is activism at its finest. Because what I've understood is the association is called, is it A-Care?
Yes, it
It's
is.
A-Care.
Yes.
You're not a project manager. Makofi.
Thank you.
Makofi. That is amazing. And
Thank
could you
you.
tell us more about this A-Care and the social impact it's making and how it's empowering young women?
Sure.
Yeah. Please.
Okay, so Okech is an organization based in Turkana, and like they use education to empower women, which, as I've mentioned earlier, like I'm from a very academic family, and we believe, and I also believe, like as an African, we are competing on the global stage, so education it's really key.
Yeah.
Education is power. Yeah, and even if we're in the arts, because I feel like as musicians we believe that or as artists we believe that we really don't need education, and it doesn't have to be one or the other. It can be both of them. Out there, musicians are having PhDs.
Yeah,
So,
not like yourself almost. I'm sure that's where you're heading.
That's where I'm heading.
Awesome.
So that's what Ekya is about. Provides education to these girls, because otherwise they don't have the opportunity. Most of them are school dropouts. They drop out in primary school. They end up in early marriages and stuff like that. So Ekya trains them with basic skills, entrepreneurial skills, digital skills, everything to do with psychosocial skills. Yes, so that's what the project management that you're talking about. So like I'm overseeing all these projects and trying to tie them with the arts industries as well. And as I've mentioned, I'm a creative entrepreneur.
Yes.
So we want to use that as well to, empower these girls to be able to make something of themselves, whatever their passion, like in fashion, in art, in music, in drama, they can be able to make an income out of that.
Yeah.
Yes.
That is absolutely phenomenal. We can't wait to see what you're going to do with this, if I'm being honest.
Thank you.
Please keep us updated.
I will.
So as we're still on that general activism feel, so something that's probably closer home that you would feel is a personal initiative to actually use your art for innovation and all that. Would you tell us about Stramsonas?
Are you sure?
Or can I call it Strums on Us?
Strums on Us. So Strums on Us initially began as Ristrumenti. Like don't judge me, I was 21.
All right. You said Ristumenti.
Ristrumenti.
Okay.
Because I had my name in it, and I was also, I'm an instrumentalist, so that passion needed to come out through the business.
Yeah. It all added up.
It all added up. But lots of people couldn't pronounce it, and then the name was too long. Then I guess as I grew as well as a person, like the business just evolved.
Yeah.
So I shortened it to Strum, which is still,
it still
yes,
holds the instrumental part.
Exactly. And then, like strumming the guitar as
yes.
well. Yeah. And then Sonas means sound. So everything about sound and music.
Yeah.
Yes. So that's how we started off.
Okay.
So earlier on I'd mentioned we started as I used to buy second-hand guitars online, and I used to refurbish them and sell them and rent out and lease instruments.
Yeah.
Then after I did my master's, that's when now I started getting into the music business aspect of it all. So that's when now what we do is like we are a management company, so to speak, but not the traditional way. Like we empower artists who are getting into the market by giving them tools to succeed, tools to be able to compete with people who have they have economies of scale, people who are already well known, already signed up to record labels and all. So we offer consultation services in the sense of like finance, looking at contracts, business strategy, finance strategy, and the like.
Okay, so what kind of artist do I have to be to come to you for consultation, business strategy? Are you limited to any kind of artist?
No, we are not limited to any kind of artist. As long as you feel like our services can help you, You're welcome.
Okay.
But generally, we mostly deal with, as you've mentioned, like I'm passionate about creating a change in the industry.
Yes.
So like the main focus is people who, of course, have an aspiration to, make a career out of music.
Yeah.
Yeah, and would otherwise not have the tools to be able to help them to succeed.
Right.
Yes.
So that is the innovative angle that you bring to us as well.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. I
Also,
love
we
it.
are cost effective.
You are louder for the people at the back. They are cost effective.
We don't eat your royalties. You just pay us for one small thing and then we go our separate ways. Yeah.
There you have it, guys. In case you're looking for direction, Risa is your compass.
Yes. And also we offer piano classes and sell guitar accessories. So we also cater to hobbyists as well. If you have kids, if you have, anyone who's interested in music, you're welcome. We got you.
So tell us more about being a music teacher. What is more fulfilling to you, being right in the middle of the action, because you're a musical theater buff, you're a music teacher, you're an instrumentalist yourself. What is the most fulfilling one for you?
For me, I would say the most fulfilling one for me is being a musician myself, because it's being a musician is therapeutic. I don't know how people manage people who don't play instruments. Because it just helps you, when you're dealing with life situations and all that, you can go, release your feelings in the music, and even if it's just jamming.
Oh yeah. Especially if it's just jamming.
So for me, that's the most fulfilling. But also teaching, especially because most of my students are kids, so it's just a fulfilling thing to be able to see a child and be I taught that child. One of my students is now competing, globally for piano. So it's just, I feel like I'm not a parent, but I feel this is how parents feel when they're successful in raising their kids.
I'm about to just keep saying until this podcast ends. That is very cute. So, if that is your demographic and kids are so moldable and, easy to direct and everything, what are some of the things you hope to impart on these kids, to give them, because sometimes there's usually that one teacher you can never ever forget, so you want them to be 10 years from now, my teacher was called Risa, and this is what she gave me, this is what she taught to me. What would you like to impart on them?
I would like to, and I hear you where you're coming from, because a lot of people I meet a lot of people in adulthood who say I also started piano, but
my
I
teacher,
quit because my teacher. So I try my best not to be that type of teacher. And then I make my classes fun, and I approach it from a holistic perspective, which is, instead of just being you must know do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, and everything, I try to approach it from a perspective where we are friends. I teach them more than just the music. I teach them, if we're learning piano, I bring in aspects of guitar and other instrument, because music is holistic. If you can play piano, you can basically play any other instrument. So I try to bring that perspective and help them to discover a passion, so that it's not like a duty that they have to do. And also I also with my with this AK association, and what I hope to do in the future as well, using music, is to be able to keep kids in school, because throughout my when I was doing my master's thesis, I found that a lot of children drop out of school and get into drugs and alcohol abuse and all that. But music, when they do music, when they learn an instrument, they're more likely to stay within school.
Ooh.
Because it helps them, even if it's not their long-term career to be musicians, it helps them psychosocially to be able to deal with life's issues. Like I've said, it helps them to gain other skills. For example, when you're listening to classical music, it uses the same pathway that chess or math uses. So these kids perform better in those subjects. Yeah, so that's the impact that I hope to bring.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, very random question. Is it true that like playing classical music for babies like helps with their growth and their brain?
does.
It's true.
It's true.
Okay, I'm taking notes. Notes for the future. Now all the babies who meet me will have to listen to some classical
Yes.
music. Beethoven is on the lineup. Okay. So you did have another angle, which I believe you approached activism with. So what was Rhythm and Looks?
Rhythm and Looks. Rhythm and Looks was a platform which I'd started with some two friends of mine. Initially, that's when I'd just gotten into the industry and we were in a band together. And back then, like there was a time when we used to play, significantly, and then, at some point it reaches where, like, as an artist, you're tired of playing for exposure. And no one is creating gigs for you. So we decided, let's create these gigs for ourselves.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's how Rhythm and Looks was. So it was a platform that was monthly. We used to have monthly events every first Sunday of the month, where we used to, for musicians, poets, rappers, you name it, spoken word artists, like we used to give them a platform, and ourselves as well, to be able to perform and put their art out there.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow. Okay. That's right up there. That's right up there. Did you guys stop? Is it something that's still ongoing?
No, eventually we stopped.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the focus is on Stramsonas.
The focus is on Stramsonas.
Okay. So with all that you've been doing in the middle of, you're trying to get your education moving as well, as you run this company, as now you're even filling a new position. What have been some of the most rewarding experiences, and what have been some of the most challenging ones?
All right. So some of the most rewarding experiences is, like just like what I mentioned, seeing how a child comes from this place to that place and being like, I had a part to play with. Yeah, that was all me. I feel like having a business is kind of the same way. It's like having a child. So watching that business come from where it came from to where it is now, it's still not where I want it to be, but we are getting there.
Yeah.
But I look back, at least in the last 2 years, because COVID also really messed us up. But like in the last 2 years, like I've made so much progress, and it's so rewarding to see that all the hard work, all the nights, all the sleepless nights, all the jammy femmes,
Yeah.
they're all paying off.
Hey, shout out to you for actually getting that Jamie Farms. Like, they identified you, they actually shortlisted you. Stramsonas is on the way.
Thank
It
you.
sounds like a good recovery after COVID, because the creative industry has really grown after
has,
COVID. It was
yes.
like it also got a vaccination.
Yes.
Because that 1 year was tough for everyone. And
Yeah.
then after that, it's like, now we have to catch up. Now we are alive. Now we are doing better.
Yes.
Props.
It's amazing. It's amazing seeing how our industry is coming up.
Yeah.
Yes.
I can tell how rewarding it is from how you're talking about it as well.
It is, yes.
Okay.
I'm also currently a fellow of the Innova Fellowship.
Ooh.
And like we are like 20 entrepreneurs across Africa, and we are doing we are working together towards the future of work for Africa. So in the last couple of weeks, I've been interviewing musicians, because for me, I'm trying to see like the how digital technology will impact the future of work for Africa. So it's just been amazing to meet so many different people that I didn't know existed, and like seeing the amazing work they are doing as Msani. Like Msani, now it reached a point where the word Msani was an insult, but now it's not an insult
Now
anymore.
it's a title.
Yes.
It's like Mr. Miss. No,
Yes.
Msani Risa Okech. Msani Ani Agesa. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Congratulations on that as well.
Thank you.
So some of your challenges. Some of
My challenges.
Yes.
Okay, so you see, entrepreneurship, number one, entrepreneurship is such a challenging journey, because you're most, especially if you're in the arts, like most of the time, you're the only one who believes in yourself. And other people look at it like, people in the more formal jobs, they look at it like you're just jobless and you're wasting time. So that has
Yeah.
been something that's been a challenge because, of course, like income is not regular.
Yeah.
And then you're tempted to quit many times when you have bills to pay, you have needs and things like that. But I've been going strong still. That's one challenge. Another challenge, I feel like as a music industry, we still need a lot of togetherness. Like I feel because already the society is such that like as artists and as creatives we are like sort of outcasts, but like we need to support ourselves, because the minute we support ourselves, like other people will start supporting us. And that's how I feel like I've been blessed enough to be able to meet the people in the Nigerian music industry. And the one thing that I feel like they have that we don't have is that we don't have that togetherness. And not necessarily because I think that they're talented. We are actually more talented with them. And I'm not just saying it because I'm a Kenyan.
Shout out. Shout it.
So
Tell everybody.
But we just need that togetherness, especially like when it comes to the live industry. I find there's a lot of clickism. Yeah, so the minute we hold each other's hands together, we realize that someone else having an opportunity is an opportunity for me as well.
Yeah.
Like if I see someone like succeeding, I'm happy because I'm like, yes, this person is Kenyan. This is your success is my success.
Yes. Your win is my win.
Yeah.
So.
Wow. So I feel like there's a lot. And then now coming back from that has been particular. It was hard already before I did my master's, but then coming back from that, because like there was like 2 years that I wasn't active in the industry.
Yeah.
So I kind of came and felt like doors have been shut.
Like you're starting over.
Yes.
You're 20 again.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, that's been tough. But
has.
are you is it something that you're still trying to figure out?
It is. It's something that I'm still trying to figure out. I'm still going, strong. Like it takes a lot of character as well, because like sometimes you can see, like if you see people succeeding in whatever field they're in, sometimes it can be intimidating, and you can be like, maybe this is God's way of saying, like, this is not for me.
Yeah, it's not for you. Kafunge. Send it home.
Yes.
We rest and try another day.
Exactly. Maybe selling smokies is for me.
I know. Okay.
Yeah. But then you remember you have passion. You remember, like, I might not be where I'm meant to be, but like I'm not where I used to be.
Yes.
And even though it might seem that the progress is small, but there's progress. Yes.
There is progress. You remember Beethoven.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you for sharing that.
You're right.
Who are some of the women that you look up to, that inspire you, that doesn't need to be women, but I would love to hear about the women. I'm not giving a limit. We don't have to know them. You can know them yourself, but tell us about them and why they inspire you.
All right. So the first one is my mom. Because, well, I'm sure everyone's mom is great.
Yes.
And we reach I feel like when we are growing up, you don't really appreciate your mom until you start going through the struggles of adulthood.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh my goodness, my mom really is my best friend.
Yeah.
So my mom, on the personal front, but also career-wise, my mom, she was the head of UN Women Nigeria. And she's also gone through a lot of struggle in her life. So I feel like part of who I am is because of her, like making me feel like, as a woman, you're not limited to what you can do. Society cannot tell you that you can't achieve this, you can't achieve that just because you're a woman.
Yes.
Like you can go out there, you can challenge. That's why I'm able to still be an entrepreneur despite, how the environment is for African entrepreneurs. Yeah, because my mom, she allows me to do all that, and she's very well achieved.
Wow.
In her own right. Yeah.
You did say you come from a line of strong African women.
Yes.
Very achieved, very academic.
Yes.
I love it.
Thank you. So that's the first one. The second one is Lynn Ngugi. Lynn Ngugi, like I just admire her. First and foremost, she's so beautiful, and then like she's very passionate about what she does, and I like the fact that of course she's in humanitarianism, but still like she does it from the bottom of her heart, and I feel like that's the reason why she's succeeding in whatever she's doing, and she's using her influence that she's gaining from her success as a career woman to touch the society. And that's what I aspire to be like.
I feel like clapping for you again. Yes, you're giving me fire.
In fact, like my career objectives, like of course it would be nice to make money, but the main reason that I want to be successful as a person is so that I'm able to impact society. Because I feel like once you gain that influence, like Lynn Ngugi, like she's able to touch so many people, you know. Yeah, so that's what drives me.
Okay, shout out to Lynn Ngugi. Risa sees you, and we see you too.
Bob Collymore was also another.
Rest
Was
his soul.
also another inspiration for me.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Because I just imagine like you're dying of cancer and you're still running, you know, a company successfully.
And Safaricom Jazz.
Yes. And he gave us musicians, you know. He gave us recognition, you know.
I mean,
Yeah.
just wow. Okay.
So
Love that.
as an entrepreneur, I really admired him.
Yes.
And his work ethic. Like one thing that I usually, it's still hard to take on, but the one thing that I admire from what he said was that like you never find me, even if it's on a Sunday, you don't find me just chilling in pajamas. Like that's what, you know, that's how his work ethics were. Yeah.
Really strong
Yes,
work ethic.
Really strong work ethic.
Is that something that you also live by?
It is. Mm-hmm.
So what do you do on a Sunday? Just rough Sunday. It doesn't need to be structured. Tell us. What do you do on a
What do I
Sunday?
do on a Sunday? Well, I try to be as productive as possible. So even if it's not necessarily work, but it's like, you know, like trying to just rest up, but not doing passive things like watching TV. I watch TV, of course.
Yeah.
But like I try to engage my mind. I try to maybe learn a new language, maybe, you know, read books and stuff like that.
I did see that you speak a bunch of different languages. Which ones should we know of? Which ones should we know of?
Well, just the usual ones, I guess. But right now, currently, I'm learning Dutch.
Ooh. Okay. I want to know what role you, Risa,
Yeah.
you know, as affiliated with Stramsonas, as affiliated with ACARE, or, you know, as affiliated with the general creative community, what role do you think you have in the future of social change? Like, if you could put it in, I don't want to limit you to words. Should I go for it? 10 words.
Go for it. In 10 words.
10 words. What do you think you, I want to say destined for, but not too much pressure.
Not too much pressure.
Yes.
All right. So I think I'm destined for change. Like for me, that's what would make me so much happier. Like just knowing that I've achieved what I need to achieve, and I've been able to impact change in my society, not just in my industry, but, you know, as a whole. And that's where ACARE comes as well, to know that there's a girl out there who is living her dream because of my contribution, or there's a child out there who's, you know, pursuing whatever they want in life because of my contribution, or living a better life because of my contribution.
Or a community created in the music industry because of your contribution.
Yes, a musician out there is earning billions because of my contribution.
Wow.
Yes.
You did say progress is the most important part. Sometimes we're not seeing that we've come from so far, but when you look back, all you can do is appreciate the progress.
Yeah.
Okay. So yes, finally, it feels like similar to the other question. But I want you to make this a fantastic punchline. Pressure. Pressure. What do you want to be remembered for?
I want to be remembered for that I was not just born and I came and I died. I want to be remembered for the impact that I've made in the industry. I want, like, when people are learning about history, they look in their history books and be like, oh yeah, this was Risa Okech. This is the work that she contributed to our country, to our industry, and Africa at large. That's what I would like. And not just career-wise, but as I've mentioned earlier as well, even in terms of society. Like, I want, even if it's just one person, to be like, I felt better, or I lived a better life. My life was a much better life because of this little impact that this person made. Yeah.
Wow. Wow, you had it. You had it, guys. And if you don't know by now, I'm sure the name Risa will be in your head. I can't wait to see what you're going to do with the opportunities you have and the opportunities you're going to create.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us. I have been your host, Annie Agesa, and this has been our guest, Risa Okech. And we'll see you next time on Dada Next Door.